Hello students, welcome back to subject Network and Cyber Security, presenting by Manjunatha Iyer, Assistant Professor, ECE Department, CEC Mangalore. So in this video I am going to present about encapsulated security payload protocol. So we know that IP security can be implemented through any one of the protocol out of two protocols. So one is encapsulated security payload and second one is authentication header protocol. So how we will implement ESP protocol for IP security on data packet and ESP format. So after we are implemented encapsulated security payload protocol, how the packet we can view the how we can view the data packet. That is what ESP format. Encapsulating security payload. ESP can be implemented in two cases: ESP with optional authentication or ESP with authentication. Here, encapsulated security parameter, payload protocol, it not uses the authentication. It takes the authentication as a optional, but here it is a mandatory ESP with authentication. So we know that what is ESP. ESP, we will use encapsulated security payload for confidentiality by using encryption algorithm. Authentication is for authentication, signature verification. But authentication header protocol, we cannot take that authentication as a optional. Authentication is a mandatory, but along with the authentication also will go with the integrity. So now let's see, since we are going to talking about the encapsulated security payload protocol, ESP can be implemented in two different cases. So one has ESP with without authentication and one is ESP with authentication. So encapsulated security payload protocol, so it provides the message content with the confidentiality. It's because we are performing encryption algorithm. Confidentiality is provided. Data origin authentication. This is when we use encapsulating security payload with authentication. We know that authentication is optional for ESP, but when we are chosen that ESP when we are chosen that authentication protocol along with the ESP, yes, it provides the authentication. And also authentication protocol, it enables the integrity features. So connectionless integrity and anti-replay services, we'll see later how we'll achieve this anti-replay services, and limited traffic flow confidentiality. So services depend on option selected when established security association net location. Can use a variety of encryption and authentication algorithm. So for encryptions also we can go for many algorithms available. Many algorithms are available for encryptions. We can go for any one particular encryption algorithm. And similarly authentication, for authentication also many algorithms are available. We can choose any one particular algorithm for authentication. Now discussion about the ESP format, encapsulated security payload format, how it is visible. For a data packet, so there is a security parameter index, that is SPI we say, and we know what is the role of security parameter index. We have discussed in earlier session. It's a 32 bits length. So followed by sequence number. What is the sequence number of the data packet? That is also represented by 32 bits length. And this is here payload it's actual data that we need to send. Okay. Now, okay, there is one more parameter, that is a padding. So we need to, okay, each data packet is must have particular length, say for example 0 to 255 bytes, and if the data packet is not having or not meeting that length, so we need to pad to meet that certain length criteria. If the data packet is not having that certain length, we need to pad some dummy bits, so dummy things. So that is what actually the padding, that is from 0 to 255 bytes. And so inside the payload, it also having next header. Next header, it gives the information about the content type, what type of content we are transmitting, and as well as it gives the reference to the next payload that we need to send. So next, the pad length. Yes, so how many dummy bits we have added to match the certain that particular length that we need to send, or that with that what particular length we need to send the data packet. If the data packet is not having that certain length, we need to add some dummy bits, right? So how many dummy bits or dummy data that we are added? Okay, length of the dummy bits also is, that information is provided here. So that is from security parameter index SPI to the payload together. So it is ICV coverage. We'll see now. Okay, we'll see later what is ICV coverage. So all SPI, sequence number, and payload. Payload is encrypted. Obviously, payload should be encrypted. Payload is nothing but data. Data need to be sent, right? That data should be encrypted. So now the integrity check value, that is ICV or variable. Okay, in short form we'll say ICV. Here also we can observe that ICV coverage. Okay. Now let's see about the integrity check value. So it's fields that are used for encryption minus fields that are used for authentication. So before we are sending a data packet, we are sending a data packet along with some other fields also, right? Parameters. Some set of parameters will consider for encryption, and some fields will consider for authentication. Okay, not all the parameters. So integrity check value, integrity check value. It says about parameters are the fields are used for encryption minus authentication fields that we are using. So it's about the general ESP format discussion. So now next, the same ESP format that can be viewed in different view. So it's having security parameter index (SPI) that is represented by using 32 bits. Also sequence number. Each data packet is having its unique sequence number to send. And initialization value. This is an optional parameter that we can add with data packet before we are sending. And discussion about the initialization vector is not necessary. And the rest of a payload data. You know what is a payload? Okay, it's again the data, actual data we need to send. So next, TFC padding, that is an optional variable. Here there is one more parameter which is optional. That is TFC padding. That is optional. We'll see later what is TFC padding. So next, actual padding. That is again 0 to 255 bytes. It gives the information about the next header. I said, what is next header gives the information or provides the information. The type of the content that we need to send. then length of the length of the bits that we are using for padding. And for ICP coverage, we'll consider from payload, initialization vector and sequence number. And for here, for encryption, we are considering only the payload data. Okay, so this is one thing is we need to encrypt it. So the payload is actually the it gives rest of the payload data and initialization value. Now next, integrity check value, that is ICV in short form. And we know that the fields that we are using for encryption minus authentication fields, fields that are used for encryption minus fields that are used for authentication. So this is a substructure of the payload data. Okay, it comes under ESP format once again, but we can view this in a different view, that is substructure of a payload data. Now let's talk about each parameter that we are using for ESP. Security parameter index, it identifies a security association. So there are many security association can be established, and each security association is having unique number. So that is represented by 32 bit. 32 bits. Sequence number, a monotonically or increasing a counter value. This provides an anti-replay functions as discussed for authentication header. So each data packet is having a unique number, and will identify that data packet with the sequence number. Okay. So again, we will represent that sequence number with 32 bit. So payload data variable. So this is a transport level segment. That is a transport mode or tunnel mode. In a transport level, it is a transport mode, and IP packet level, it is a tunnel mode. So that is protected by encryption. Payload is always we need to protect it by encryption. Okay, it has to be protected. And padding, the purpose of this field is discussed later in the same module. We discuss about the padding later. So padding length indicates the number of pad bytes immediately preceding this field. So as I told you in the explanation of the figure, so how many bytes or how many bits we are using for padding, that need to be understood, and that information is provided by pad length. Next header, it identifies the type of the data contained in the payload data. Say for example, it's having a plain text, or it's having any alphabets or numerical values, or image, or any other format we can carry to send a message. So type of the payload, feed by identifying the first header in that payload, example an extension header that is in IP version 6 or an upper layer protocol such as TCP, Transport Control Protocol. So integrity check value variable, a variable length feed must be it's an integer number of 32 bit words again, that contains the integrity check value computed over the ESP packet minus the authentication data fields. So as I mentioned earlier, the fields that we are using for encryption are ESP minus. So some fields we are using for authentication. So we cannot use all the fields for authentication. Only we will go for authentication to the selected fields. The fields that are using for encryption minus the fields that are using for authentication data. That is what integrity check value. Here we discuss about the encryption, authentication algorithms, and the padding. So in early slides I told you that paddings will be discussed later. Here it's time to discuss about the padding. So ESP can encrypt the payload data padding and pad length and the next header fields. Encapsulated security payload is going to encrypt several fields. They are actual payload data and padding bits that we are using to pad, and the next header fields also it is encrypted. So if needed, have initialization vector at start of the payload data. Okay, initialization vector is mentioned right in the substructure of encapsulated security payload. So that will be used in the start of the payload data. ESP can have optional ICV for integrity. So integrity check value, okay, that is optional, and okay, if you want we can use it, else okay, it's not necessary to use integrity check value. So it is computed after encryption is performed. Okay, for ICV it's optional, and also we can use this parameter or a field after encryption is over. ESP uses padding. Okay, why we need to go for padding? To expand the plain text to the required length. Okay, as I said, we need to consider a certain length of the plain text while we are sending. Okay, if that message is meeting or it's having that certain length, okay, I mean it's matching that certain length, okay, we no need to go for padding. If not, we need to pad some dummy bits. And also to align the pad length and the next header fields. Okay, in order to align the pad length and next header fields, we are using a padding, and to provide the partial traffic flow confidentiality. And we know what is a traffic flow, right? It's a data flow. Okay, in order to give the confidentiality for the traffic flow, we'll go for padding. It's all about the encryption and the padding. So next is about anti-replay service. Here we discuss in detail about the anti-replay service. Replay is when attackers resends a copy of an authenticated packet. So then we'll go for anti-packet service. Say for example, we have a message, data packet. Okay, we have a data packet. Say data packet is we have several data packets. But I'll take one particular example. Okay, I have a data packet 3 need to be sent, and actually this is sent by the sender, and usually it is received by the receiver. But in between, this data packet will be taken by the attackers, and attackers will do this modification. You go for modification on this data packet, that is data packet 3, then he will resend it. And attackers, he will do the modification according to his wish. Okay, then he will resend it. But already receiver is already received that data packet, but the second time when he is going to receive the data packet, he should not receive the same data packet, that is data packet number 3, because second time packet number 3 is receiving, it is not from the actual sender, it's actually from the attacker. So in that case scenario, what is the replay from the receiver? You need to drop receiving such data packets. So that's what anti-replay services. So this is done very nicely. Okay, this mechanism will be implemented so nicely with the receiver. We see in detail. Use a sequence number to thwart this attack. So when the receiver is going to receive all the data packets, is maintaining a checklist. Okay, is maintaining a checklist. In checklist, have the data packet number 1, 2, 3, 4, so on. Okay, like n number of data packets. Once after he is receiving a data packet, you need to mark right for that data packet after he is received. Say for example, he has received the data packet first time, the data packet number 4, so he is going to mark as a write. Okay, write more for the data packet 4. So when next time is the same data packet 4 is coming, so we need to what is the replay from the receiver? So he is going to drop to receive such data packets when the same data packet is coming second time. So sender initializes the sequence number to 0 when the new security association is established. So sender always is send a data packet with the unique number or sequence number, that is 1, 2, 3, so on up to n data packet when security association is established, and it is going to increment for each data packet. Yes, so like each data packet, like okay, packet number 1, 2, 3, 4, okay, like that it is going to increment, and must not exceed the limit of 2 to the power 32 minus 1. Okay, so that is a certain limit for data packet sequence. It should not reach 2 to the power 32 minus 1. Receiver then accepts the packet with the sequence number within the window. What is the window size? That is n minus w plus 1. Okay, so this is what anti-replay services. So about okay, this last point. Okay, w is a window size, and about n we'll see later. Okay, in the next coming slide. Next slide. Now we'll understand in detail about the anti-replay window. This is advanced window of valid packets to write is received. The write data packet need to be received by the receiver. The fixed window size, I said it's a W, and this window size is from this data packet to this data packet. So I think we can understand now what is here. Say for example, forget about the data packet, what data packet number is carried for these data packet. We start from this data packet number 1, 2, 3, so on. Say for example, there are 100 number of data packets within the window. Then what is n? N says that it's a 100. That means total in a window there are n number of data packets need to be sent. So n is nothing but the last data packet number. Last data packet number. So in a window, in the first window it is 1 to 100, and second window it is 101 to 200. So like that. So in third window it is from 201 to 300. Okay, same some certain number of data packets need to be considered within the window. So now this is it's a n plus 1. That's nothing but in the first window it is 100. So that means this comes in a second window, but its data packet number is n plus 1. With this example, it is 101. So now, after receiving each data packet, see here marked if valid data packet is received. The dark color is there, right? It is marked as a dark color, right? It means that the valid data packet is received. So now unmarked is a white space. It represents unmarked if valid data packet is not yet received. When the sender is sending a data packet, he is not sending a data packet according to the number, like 1, 2, 3, 4. Sometimes he can send data packet number 1, next he may send data packet number 3, then he may go for data packet 6 to send, like that. So say for example, now this data packet number is having 50, this is already received, and so for this particular data packet already it is marked as a the 50 data packet number, it is marked as a right mark, and next time, second time, when the same data packet 50 is coming, receiver need to understand that. So this data packet 50 is not coming from the legitimate sender. Second time it is coming from the attacker. Then he will reject that data packet. Data packet number 50. So this is how the anti-replay window works. So to conclude this video, We have seen that encapsulated security payload protocol, how does it work, okay, for IP security, and the format of encapsulated security payload. If you have any doubts after watching this video, feel free to post your doubts in comment section so that I am able to answer your doubts. Thank you for watching my video.